East End criminal and self-confessed killer Dave Courtney achieved national notoriety when he organized the security for Ronnie Cray's funeral in 1995. Courtney had won the respect of his criminal contemporaries and elders. He presumed his future was secure, but drugs were about to change the criminal landscape and Courtney's life forever.
My friend Francis was standing beside me outside the Fog and Night game on the Old Kent Road. A big man, big powerful man, and we both walked out of the pub and was walking down the road to have a chat. We had our backs to the actual Old Kent Road, and a car pulled up behind us. A man got out, put a gun to the base of his spine and shot him and blew his stomach out in the road, and he just blew out in front of me like that. It made me instantly realise it doesn't matter who you are or what you are, how big you are. You know, somebody on drugs can just come along and wipe you straight up, and it frightened me. And that is the driving force behind I'm going straight.
Tonight's real life shows what happened when Dave Courtney retired from crime to become a celebrity villain, but failed to shed his past. The year 2000 should have made him, but it nearly broke him after he was arrested and then accused by members of the underworld of being a grass.
These do actually make me feel very, very sick, but they look like bollocks in the photo. Absolute bollocks in the photo.
Since claiming to go straight, Courtney has written a best-selling autobiography and has swapped the courtroom dock for the West End stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Mr. Dave Courtney?
Right then, I'm Dave Courtney. There is definitely in this room at least 2 or 3 police officers. I want everyone to have a look at the people next to you, and if they are suspiciously talking into their lapel, he is a copper. Right, now, I'm serious, have a look, because I know that you are in here, you coppers, and this must be really fucking you. Since writing the book, I'm guilty of an awful lot of things. Being a fool is not one of them. And once you've wrote a book, you can no longer carry on in that life that you've sort of confessed to the world that you're in. And I have retired. You fucking laughed at his jokes, you know what I mean? The book, in the police's eyes, I hope, the book is like getting the gold watch, I've retired. So it's pretty obvious I ain't doing anything no more. And I'm hoping that they will see it in that way. But it's very hard for them to get their head around that I'm no longer active when I look so bloody naughty. Well, I can't imagine what they think when, you know, these policemen's kids come up to say, Dad, can I have money to buy Dave Courtney's film? Mum, can I have money to buy Dave Courtney's book? And, you know, the wife's looking at you and I see him on Vanessa, he's all right. You know, they must be going, no, you know, stop it! What'd you do, Pete?
Very boring job. I'm leaving in 2 weeks to go travelling. Thanks, Clark.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ever been to Deptford?
Once or twice. Cheers, Dave.
Yeah, mate. Nice
mate. All the best.
Why are you interested in Dave?
Well, I read the book, found it really interesting, and so I knew he was over here, so I thought I'd come in and get his, you know, get him to sign it and sort of meet the guy himself, basically.
Why did you think the book was interesting?
Well, because he's done a lot of things I probably never even dream of doing. You know, he's lived a life which you probably only see in films like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. That's what a book does. It takes you on a journey somewhere and takes you do something, and you go somewhere where you're not actually going to get to go in your normal life.
The apparent freedom of a lawless life is sexy and seductive to many readers, especially when the only damage done is to their wallets. The book has sold over 100,000 copies.
I'm doing a bust of Dave Courtney because he illustrates very good the point I'm trying to make with my exhibition about people, how they can go from being vilified by the media to being feted on the celebrity circuit. And he's, if you like, this year's model. I mean, I've already cast lots of old, well-known villains from the sort of the 60s and everything, and he is kind of like the newest of the type. He already is an iconic figure to some, and I think he's someone, unless someone shoots him or something, or he gets nicked, he's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
But what kind of lifetime achievements merit such attention?
When I was a child, I just sort of done everything. I broke into factories, I pinched cars. When I learnt I had the ability to have a punch-up, I used to go, down to football matches. I wanted to be a boxer. Every young man wanted to be a boxer. I thought I would be very good until I actually started doing it, and that really wasn't for me. It just hitting people with boxing gloves, and you couldn't kick, pinch, scratch, bite, strangle. If I had to cheat to win, then yes, I would. Preferably I'd like to get him from behind with 8 or 9 of my mates in the dark with a scaffolding pole, rather than stand up there on my own man-to-man with a pair of boxing gloves on. That is far too brave for me.
The rules of the ring were too restrictive for Courtney. He opted for a different profession.
I was for hire, for debt collecting. In anything that I'm going to work in, if I'm going to solve a problem, I am the law. There is no room for debate in anything I've got to say in the house. If I wanted to argue with you, I could ring you up. I'm here to tell you something, and you're going to do something or pay me back something. There is not a debate in that. Right? The meek will inherit the earth when the strong say so. The one time I went to prison as a convicted prisoner was in 1980, 1981, where I had a knife fight with a few Chinese men. I had a problem with the people that worked in the Chinese restaurant, and the end result was England won, China never. None of them died, but 2 of them were very, very close in intensive care, and at one stage I was actually fighting for my life with a Chinese man. It was, wow, how often do you ever get a chance to do that? I could even hear the music. Dan, da, dan, da, 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 da. You're pumping, your adrenaline's all over the place. It's sort of very primal, you know what I mean? He's lying on the floor unconscious, and the victor, that is a good time to have a shag with Dave Courtney.
Courtney is not afraid to boast about his acts of violence, including claims of murder.
Have you been up for murder?
Yeah. Twice. But I was found not guilty twice.
Did you do it?
Yeah, it's common knowledge that I did, yeah. I did admit it.
What, you killed somebody?
I did, yeah.
How?
I shot him. He was going to kill me. As long as I can justify to myself what I intend to do, I don't give a monkey's what anybody else thinks. So for me to actually go and shoot somebody and risk getting 15 years, please believe me, if there was any other way around that, I would not have done it. I wanted something done of me now, rather than get famous for something or get infamous for something that I'd done, and then they start taking busts and photographs of me when I'm 60. And my house is designed in a way that there is Julius Caesar, Winston Churchill, and there's a little space for Dave Courtney's bust right in the middle there. So that was one of the reasons I had it. Remember me as I am.
Courtney's bust sits perfectly at home in Plumstead, South London, in his self-styled Englishman's castle, complete with its own heroic mural, a shrine to his fantasy world of chivalry and heroism. He shares his castle with his partner, Jenny, who he met 13 years ago.
When I met Dave, I had 2 young children. I was a single mum. I was promised you, I was at a loss. I didn't, I had no vacation in life, trust me. And he just grabbed all 3 of us and just done the best with us. I've done this with us, really.
They have 3 children, Jensen and Drew by Jenny's previous marriage, and Jenny and Dave's very own 3-year-old, Courtney, de Courtney.
There's nothing violent, there's no violence, I promise you, none in our house at all.
But have you ever sort of had to tell him off for bringing his work home?
Yeah, I have, yeah, because I've lost the drum of my washing machine before, because he forgot to take a bit of his work out of his pocket, and it exploded on the spin. Like, Now someone had done it with a can opener and left it all rugged. Yeah? And then the spent bullet.
Happy birthday, dear Jensen. Happy birthday to you.
Where me and Dave are concerned, because he's my life. But if he was bad for my kids, I promise you he wouldn't be there.
Make a wish.
Today is Jensen's 11th birthday. Like father, like son, the party is held in the local nightclub, Dexter's, and Courtney has laid on some entertainment for the younger ones.
Which was silly, because the red pom-poms attached the white pom-pom.
Where's the rabbit?
Oh, how about you?
Saw him in half.
This is a key ring. Blow! And count out loud.
I don't think they're kids' magic things, is it? It's not enough
Here they are.
colours and sort of rabbits and things, is it? It's all like that. The blue pom-pom and all that bollocks.
But elephant.
£80 an hour.
There they are.
I could have got prostitutes for that.
Pin the bottom ring like that. Hold it like that. Say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Off you go.
They're enjoying it. It's you that's not.
I wanted something that actually I would be interested in. I know that trick.
Get the magic dust. Sprinkle it on.
Courtney's patience finally runs out with the magician.
Out.
Children.
What's this?
New game. So listen, hold on, somewhere. Everyone jump up. Click up. Stand on him, chair. Pack up all your stuff, mate. Honestly, I'm really not bad magic. Where's the fucking rabbit? Right, first one who can put a whole sandwich in their mouth without chewing it, go! Quick, squash it. Whoever's got the biggest mouth will get the payout.
Time to celebrate with the grown-ups. With his autobiography proving profitable, Courtney follows up with a second book about his experiences on the English rave scene. His words of wisdom on this subject are now deemed important enough to make the news.
I'm not actually trying to glamorise crime. I'm not trying to glamorise drug taking. I'm just trying to make it palatable to people that really don't understand. You know, it's a lot easier for a child now to say at 14 years old to his mum, I've had an E, because his mother has most probably had one in her life and will understand exactly how to talk to him.
Now that Dave's decided to go straight and the worry's not there anymore, I'm much happier. I'm a much happier, much calmer person. I know that when he walks out the door, it's something legitimate that he's doing, something that everyone agrees with.
I've got a present for you, Joe. Come here. You've got a full membership for the Courtney gang. There's a solid brass bucket up another ladies and gentlemen.
I know it'd be easier for the world to believe him if he didn't have them people wrapped around him, but
Cherry Turbo, come here. Listen to
half of them people have got bullet holes for him, you know what I mean, or cuts for him, you know, where he actually owes them a favour, you know, like where they've, do you know what I mean? And how do you repay that to someone by going, I'm going to go be straight now, so I can't ring you anymore.
To escape your criminal past can be hard, especially when some of your current associates are themselves less than honest. Courtney was to learn this to his cost, both now and later.
We've had Dave's book launch, and we set up a little area for him to sign his books, and behind him was a plinth which had an iron cast of his head, which was my artist proof, and well, basically somebody's bloody nicked it. I don't have another copy. My value on it is about £10,000 worth, and I can't believe on his book launch that someone, especially with the people that were here, that someone will actually have the liberty to actually fucking nick it.
I'm not that concerned that I'm not going to get it back. I'm quite concerned that it's actually been done in the first place. It's a little bit embarrassing, to say the least. But I will get it back. I will get it back.
Courtney went looking for his bust, unaware that an old adversary was following him. The long arm of the law was about to drag Courtney back into a past world he claimed he had left behind forever. In September 1999, the very month of his book launch, the police arrested him for conspiracy to pervert the course of justice.
We was in a big stretch Mercedes with my driver. I was on the motorway and I just had a very successful book signing, you know, and things get carried away and we both ended up naked in the back of this Mercedes.
And then the next minute we were surrounded by police and they had an infrared light on him. And I'm like, God, what is going on? And
what was the infrared light
from, you know, the marksman thing, because that's how they come for Dave, no matter what it is.
And then they said, get out! So I got out and all I'd on was an hard. You know, I mean, I was just standing there. I said, now can I put my trousers on? I've been arrested for perverting the course of justice with a number of other people, one of them being a police officer. If I was guilty in this case and got found guilty, then I could get anything up to 10 years. But, you know, I don't even expect to go to court.
Courtney was given bail. He'd been arrested for perverting the course of justice with a corrupt police officer called Detective Constable Austin Warnes, whom Courtney had known for years. Warnes was at the centre of a plot to frame an innocent woman called Kim James, who was involved in a custody battle with her husband, Simon James. James had hired a private detective called Jonathan Rees to plant drugs on his wife in order to discredit her so he could win custody of the child. After the drugs were planted, Detective Constable Warnes was told to organise a raid on Kim James. But anti-corruption detectives were on to Warnes. They rightly suspected Kim James was innocent and that the drugs were planted, so they challenged him to produce a source for the information. Warnes decided to con Courtney into becoming that source. He pretended to Courtney that he needed him to pose as an informant, to explain to his superiors why he'd mixed with Courtney and others in the past. Warnes managed to convince Courtney that the Kim James story was a total fiction made up to help Courtney pose as an informant. Courtney agreed to go along with the plan, but he was suspicious and demanded an insurance policy.
And so I went, well, I'll do it for you, but I need a safety net in case anything ever blew up. I need to prove that this is all bollocks, you understand what I mean? So he agreed to let me tape him, my wife take a photo of him, and my friend be a witness of it, and he allowed me to sit here and him say, Dave knows nothing about this is absolute cack, I'm banging trouble, you know what I mean, I'm just pulling on a mate to help me out of a bit of trouble. What? He's actually let me tape the whole thing.
Particularly at non-constant common with Dave, Courtney and Jenny. I've asked them to get me out of a bit of bother.
I know nothing about it, do I?
Dave knows nothing about this now.
What's the information you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
Just to say that Kim James runs like a dealing club tennis, and that the info was passed to me by you.
That's it.
That's it.
Right, but just in case it's a tape ever comes to light, this is fuck all to do with me, it's to help my fucking pal. Alright? Thank you very much.
And that's it. And they need this tape now to get him whatever sentence they want to give him, right? So I produced the tape, so they know I'm nothing to do with the case. They should let me off, right? But they can't, because if they do that, I might not turn up to give evidence against him, which I most probably wouldn't, you know, to be honest. I most probably would not. And so to guarantee that I'd have to produce this tape in court, they'll keep me arrested for something they know I know nothing of. I was a completely innocent party. I'll hand the tape over in court. The judge will say, OK, not guilty, but then they can use that to crucify him.
Although Warnes had landed Courtney in trouble, he had no regrets about their past corrupt relationship.
She kept you out of prison? Oh, yeah, he's kept me out of prison, yeah. He's kept an awful lot of my friends out of prison as well. And although I'd like to beat the living shit out of him today, he's done nothing for me and mine apart from be good. You know, he's a very good arrow in my bag, he was. Right, very good string to my bow. And it'd be easy to go, I wish I'd never met him. But there's been too many pluses I've had through meeting him. And if I was to go back into crime, I would somehow try and get in bed with another policeman.
November the 8th, 1999. It is Courtney's first appearance at the magistrate's court. The police demanded a hefty bail sum as security to ensure his future attendance, along with the tape recording.
How much is that?
50 grand. All for my mate. Let's hope he don't fucking run off.
If the court jester was worried, he wasn't showing it. Apparently this was just a big joke.
I just think it's apt. A court jester is most probably exactly what I am. I enjoy courts. I am, in a battle of tongues, I am much better than most of them. And especially when I know I've got the winning end, I can have a right little play.
Just relax. Normality. It's normal, isn't it? You go to a villain, you go to court. Regular. It's like going to school, isn't it?
For justice.
Smiling.
I involve all my mates in all my big events, you know, whether it be parties, book launches, court cases, funerals, you know, I get everyone involved and try and suck the best out of it that I possibly can. And being in a good mood, or laughing, or keeping everyone bubbly, is also a very good disguise for a lot of things, you know. You can hide fear with laughter, you can hide being shy with laughter.
You can also hide anger with laughter, and later on in the court waiting room, Courtney assaulted Warnes as revenge for framing him.
I always had faith in the British justice system. And I promise, for as long as I've got a hold of my arse, I'll continue to punch that geezer in the face every time I see him. Thank you. It's just adjourned for 6 weeks. I'm pleased, but it's exactly what I thought would happen. And between now and the committal, I should imagine all the charges against me will be dropped.
Warnes decided not to press charges, but Courtney had other concerns.
Oh yeah, the thing that hasn't actually gone according to my plan, right, is he's actually got bail, so they give him 6 months out here to do whatever he wants to me.
Courtney knew what he would do in Warnes's position, and fueled by this perceived threat, he had even taken security precautions.
If Warnes was going to court to produce a bit of evidence that was going to give me 20 years, and he was out on bail, I promise you he would never get to court. Take that however you want. I personally wouldn't do nothing, but I promise you he would not get to court. If it meant if he turned up, I got 20 years, and he was out on bail, I'd make sure he never, ever, ever got to court. I'm sorry, but I would, right? Not that I'm a nasty person, it's just I love my wife and kids too much, right? And if I can get out of not going to prison, I will, and so should anybody.
Warnes was having to try very hard to keep out of prison. The police were now asking serious questions about his past relationship with Courtney. To explain the relationship, Warnes claimed that Courtney was his long-time informant.
I've now got to prove that he's actually one of my bank coppers.
But so he's accusing you of being...
Been a grass.
For the underworld, this is one of the most serious of accusations.
You're just going against all the codes of being a man. Just being a testosterone-filled man to your fellow man. You know, you do not do that. You just don't do it. You should be able to take it on the chin when you get in trouble yourself and not go, oh, I'll share the blame, or whatever reason you do them things. Right? And as a man, I wouldn't do it, and as a man, you shouldn't do it. And if you are someone that does do it, you do deserve not to be around other men.
1 year on from his appearance in the magistrate's court, and problems were mounting for the Courtney household. The police still needed him to provide his taped evidence against Warnes, and the case had now progressed from the magistrate's court to the Old Bailey.
Another fucking court, Dave.
What's that notice that that says, will you stop pestering my guests and me?
Please just stop every fucking body. I swear to God that I stop the babysitter at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. Going home, what are you doing there? Do you know he's this? Do you know he's that? And saying to the mum, do you mind your children being? What's that about?
So why are you putting the notice?
I'm going to pin it on my fucking gate.
If by any chance things went wrong in this case, Courtney could be looking at 10 years in jail for conspiracy, but he was trying to keep up appearances.
if I was to ever show any kind of, oh, babe, oh, to her, then she would be like that. If she would be like that, the children would be like that. And they'd be going to school, going, trying to do a spelling test, thinking, am I going to be there for the next 20 years? I've had a cold for nearly 2 weeks.
That's because he won't keep coming off it gets in the bath, out the bath, gets dressed, on the motorbike.
It's got nothing to do with it, babe.
Yes, it is, babe. You get a cold like that. Truth. You're not proper wrapped up. You don't want to put on any thermals because he says it's not sexy and it ain't hard. It's not menacing. I'm like, yeah, but it's bloody warm.
Jenny was having to keep her own act together. Her 34-year-old brother John had died recently in hospital following a tragic illness.
There's a lot happening in your life at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, a bloody lot.
How are you feeling about your brother now?
I haven't actually got my head around that, really. Every time I talk about him or time I go to my mum's house and I have like loads of tears and, you know, the fact that he decorated my house, he's in every room that I go in. Don't look at the kitchen. It's Dave's idea. Sorry, John. Dave made him just wallpaper the fridge. This is what the fridge looks like. Anyway, I came home and started scraping it off for my brother.
Off after your brother died.
For my brother. Yeah, because he didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do this, you know, he didn't want to do this fridge. So I come home as my, you know, therapy, I suppose, for John.
We'll take a chance and go down it wherever it goes. Jump the fucking lights. Is it going anywhere? Hold on. Yeah, we'll hit it. Hello? Hello, mate. Go to, through Greenwich. Don't go down by the Blackwall Tunnel.
You know, if only the police could actually respect the fact that we've actually suffered a bereavement, you know what I mean? But they wouldn't actually, they've got no sympathy anyway. But with everything else that's going on in Dave's life as well, and with the cat and mouse thing that they're doing, the fact that my brother died, it's just like, cry about it, forget about it, get on, like, because too much worry is put on that. I'm not worried, it's just what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? Like that.
So in a sense, you've not been able to grieve?
No, not at all, really, truth.
How's Jenny been?
Who's gold?
She's still, last time you said that she was still upset about the funeral and about the brother. How's she doing on that front?
She hides it more. She's learning to hide it and not let it be all and do all of everything.
You know, there's a lot of that. If only I did this and if only I'd done that. You know, around his death as well, because he actually started where he cut himself, mending his girlfriend's settee. He was banging something in the claw hammer, banged him on the leg. But that day, I dropped him off home and I was moaning about how much cleaning I've got to do. And he said, I'll come back with you, Jen, tidy up. I said, no, John, it's your Christmas tomorrow as well. It's Christmas Eve. I said, it's your Christmas tomorrow as well. You know what I mean, you're with your new bird and that. He goes, Nicky, don't mind, we'll both come back and help you. And I was thinking, if I said, oh, come on then, John, come and help me, he wouldn't have been mending the settee. He wouldn't have cut himself. That's how I feel.
But you can't.
I can't, I know, but I just can't stop feeling like that.
Guilt?
Yeah.
Traffic's going to beat me, innit?
Very tight.
Fucking do this to me.
It's important to get there on time, isn't it?
Oh, very, 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 yeah, because it just looks so rude if you're not. You know what I mean? You've had like 6 months warning to get here on time. Don't tell me you can't get there because the traffic was bad. You know, you should have been here. It's an important day for you. No, that's how they're going to look at it, and there's no excuse for actually being late for the Bailey. And I've been late once already, you know what I mean?
With the same judge?
Yes. The last time I was up in front of him, and he said to me, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Courtney managed to arrive in time to see Warnes plead guilty. He was eventually sentenced to 4 years in prison. Welcome news for Courtney. With Warnes out of the picture, Courtney hoped the accusations that he was a grass would cease. Now he presumed the police would drop their case against him. To his surprise, this did not happen. They still believed he was guilty of conspiracy. The pressure was on for this supposed ex-criminal.
They are keeping my life, at the moment, on pause. I can't go to work, I can't do any filming, I can't do any book signings, I can't bring out the records, you can't put this documentary out, you know, I can't go on holiday.
Did they got your passport?
Well, they got one of them. You know, this is the real criminal life, you know. I mean, forget the glamour and the nice cars and the nice suits and all that. This is real, what it's like to be on the wrong side of the law, running backwards and forwards to police stations and hoping you was just a little bit smarter this time. Because the one time you lose that little war you have with them, you go to prison.
Do you think you deserve it?
I don't know. Ish.
Things were not all doom and gloom for Courtney. His bust had been returned voluntarily and anonymously in a taxi for the opening of Nick Reynolds and Anthony Oliver's exhibition on infamous criminals.
What do you think? Wow. I'm sort of honoured. It's something that I thought only happened to you when you died, you know, busted your head, and this is wow. This is just wow.
Unfortunately for Courtney, there was a new problem just around the corner.
An altercation has happened between Mad Frankie Fraser and Dave Courtney. It's to do with age and it's to do with codes. And what we've really come against here is you've got the brotherhood of the old school opposed to someone who subscribes and pays homage to the old school, but he wasn't there. So there's an element of where he's become the figurehead, yet in their minds he hasn't justified it.
In every different walk of life there's rivalry, you know, whether you run a magazine, run a football team, promote yourself, you know, there's rivalry. You know? You have to have somebody else. It actually drives you on, it's healthy.
But this rivalry became less than healthy when Fraser repeated the accusation that Courtney was a grass.
Someone that I thought was a friend, a colleague, has come out and called me a grass, and it's shell-shocked me, it's knocked me a bit sideways. Of course it is a little bit frightening, you know, the sort of repercussions of having that said about you and all that, and...
what are the repercussions?
The repercussions could be me ending up floating down the Thames, you know. An awful lot of people will listen to the man, you know, he's quite an influential man.
Right now it's just making me feel angry, it makes me feel sick. True, because they know the consequences. Whoever said it knows the consequences. There's not one alleged in that story.
The accusation had also offended Courtney's own bizarre criminal code.
All villains seem to fall out with each other at the end of the day.
Yeah, but never as seriously as you're a grass. That's about as serious as you could possibly say. You know, I'd rather be a fucking rapist than a grass. At least another man who gets an eye and goes rock and half understand that.
The fact that Dave can actually like take the kids down the road for a lolly, and then they're already, you know, their lives are in danger because some has gone, yeah, Dave's quite right, you know, you know, it makes me angry, it fucks me off.
And from what I hear, he's not even telling the chosen few, you know, he's actually put it in the newspaper. You know, I'm like, fucking hell. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's not funny.
2 weeks into the trial at the Old Bailey, and Courtney was accused of being a registered informant in open court, and everybody heard.
The Old Bailey has been told that a corrupt detective and a police informer helped in a plot to frame a woman with drugs so that she would lose a custody battle. Courtney and 3 others deny conspiracy to pervert the course of justice.
Now, if anyone puts up now, once they've got us an informant on the telly, anyone in the world can just walk up to my door, knock on the door, and open the door, shoot me and run off, and he'd never get caught because he's now made it that the motive for it has just been on television. Anyone in the world.
Who would be bothered to have a go at you like that, then? Who would be bothered to shoot Dave Courtney? Who could be bothered?
I don't know, I wish I knew that myself. Huh? Just shut me up. The big thing for me here is this. Like any man, you like to be well thought of. And yesterday my kids went to school and their dad was a hero. Yesterday. To all their schoolmates, everyone, Dave Courtney, their dad was a hero. Even their dads, their mates' dads thought I was a hero. Today, I'm going to school and they will most likely be ridiculed and be given a really hard time because of their dad is what they think their dad is. Now, I can handle it because it just goes right over the top of my head and I laugh at everything. Asking 12-year-old boy and all that to please understand why they're saying this about your dad might be really hard, and they have now got to live with my burden. Like, instead of, that's my dad, right? They might have to go, that's my dad. Who's the lovely girl?
Okay.
Yeah, I love you.
It's awful. People no longer want like their kids to come. Like we used to have for kids sleepovers. You don't have them anymore. It's not, you know, no one would come. No, you know, I wouldn't want to send my kid to someone's house who's, you know, one of the occupants could be in, their lives could be in danger.
Hitler was doing well until he started fighting on too many fronts. You understand what I mean? I feel like I'm being attacked from a load of different fronts, you know. I feel like.
Well, you are being attacked from one.
Yeah, of course. You know, when the court cases, there's people are under the pressure of a court case, and in the pressure of being called a graft is another thing, and in the pressure of being ever so Mr. Popular one day and then everyone in the world wants to shoot you the next day. You know, actually feeling that they are beating you, you know, the police, and they are actually winning. I feel like I'm fighting on so many different fronts at the moment, and I know that it isn't good. And the normal person would actually go under by that. Any one of these people fucking top themselves for, wouldn't they? I'm too vain.
I know my kids shouldn't have to, like, bear the brunt for the fact that, because I love Dave Courtney, they shouldn't have to suffer, but I don't think that they're suffering. You know, and I just hope to God that it just, you know, nothing happens, nothing does happen.
Why don't you just leave?
Why should I leave? Because, you know, because my life wouldn't be the same. I love Dave Courtney. I promise you, it sounds really, like, muggy and stupid, but I can't anticipate life after Dave Courtney. That is the truth.
Losing the argument that I was working for Ben Policeman has completely different effects on my life than losing the argument whether I'm a class or not, because it would actually end my life. 100% sure, and rightly so, if it was proved I was a registered informant. Now, I'm now arguing for my life.
The 6-week-long trial at the Old Bailey has come to an end, and the jury are due to give their verdict today.
I just wondered how you're feeling this morning, because of course this could be, I suppose, the last time you see Dave for a while.
How do I feel? Anxious. Well, I can't really express on it. Ask me later on. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Come on. Go. Oh, God almighty. Your last breakfast. For a relatively very important day, it feels quite normal.
Why is that? You think?
I'm more than confident I'm coming home. Plus, I've been in this position before once or twice.
Jenny's quite upset, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a bit upset, yeah.
mean, you could still go to jail, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Do you have to prepare yourself for that, or do you just let it happen when it happens? Or what does?
You can't prepare yourself for jail. If you're lucky enough to have prior knowledge that you're going, then there's a few things you should do, you know. First thing is, stick a couple of ounces of puff up your bum. Well,
and have you done that?
I've just done it at the bathroom. One.
What have you done?
Stuck an ounce of puff up your arse.
An ounce of cannabis?
Yeah, an ounce of cannabis, yeah.
Why?
Well, it could go against all the odds, and then I end up going to prison, and from the second I get in there, I've got currency. You know, I'll because I'm afraid puff is currency in prison, you know what I mean? You're trying to live on, I don't know what it is, £5.50 a week, buy your fags, toiletries, and food, and all that out of £5 a week. You know, and I've said to people, like, do it all my life. So I've watched people that have got millions of pounds out here, and I own have got millions of pounds, end up going to prison, and because they haven't got anything to barter with, they're skint. They've got no Rice Krispies, no soap, no Rizzlers, no honey, no nothing. They've got nothing. They've got £1 million out here, but there's some little fella in there who's been sneaking in and out of puff every 2 or 3 weeks. He sells like the inside of Argos, you know, racks of it. Over there by the economy burgers. The geezer made me laugh last night. He come round here about 3:30 in the morning, drop it off for me. And I normally just take it. And when it comes to whatever amount it comes to, you know what I mean, he goes, oh, do you know it's about that much now? And I go, yeah. But because he knew I was going away, he wanted me to pay for it. He wanted to pay for it right there. After it, I'm going, oh. And then just come home. You've got to be careful, so have I, you know. I don't want to wait 7 years for me 50 quid. You bastard. You've gone down. I think what she thinks is it's a never-ending battle, because we've actually sat here a couple of times like this, and this law of averages, you can't keep winning. Seeing her like that makes it very all right for me to cry if I wanted to, and then sometimes you can get close to it, if you understand what I mean by that, all right? Not that I'm going to cry. Please believe me, I ain't. All right? I will return. In prison, it would become a massive problem, yeah, because you know, you're so cut off from reality in prison. You actually live on the newspapers. You live it. You know, that is your only contact with reality. And it's been in the newspapers that I'm an informant. And if you're in prison, there it is. You're an informant. You know, Arsenal 1, 2-1. Fact. Her name's Tracy so-and-so. Page 3. Dave's an informant. No, it would be clean cut, so I should imagine I would have a fucking hell of a time if I actually went to prison with this still hanging over my head. I feel as if the jury, the general public, you know, I'm not even people that don't know me, don't actually want Dave Courtney to be found a grass, because it ruins the whole romance of the criminal thing, you understand what I mean? And it's very, very, very important in the job that I'm in now that you stay on the right side of the popularity thing with the people. And
being accused of
being a grass. It's definitely put a dampener on that, I should imagine, if it actually works.
One of the kids asked me this morning if it went wrong or if they got guilty, how long would he get? And I
refuse to even answer it because I haven't even thought of it. I wouldn't even let myself as negative. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to allow myself to even think negative. I'm not bitter. I don't want to be bitter. I can't be bitter.
Why can't you be bitter?
Because I feel like he's, you know what I mean? He's almost brought it on himself, although it's, you know, it's brought on, you know what I mean, don't you? It's like a cat and mouse thing with the police and Dave. But it's not fair that I should have to suffer this, and my kids either. And I want it to come to an end, I do, but it won't though. This will not be the end of it. Trust me on that one. It's like my life ain't cut out for that. And it ain't fair for him either, because he's just trying to do things legitimate. He just dropped us off at the pub. Oh look, there they are out there. Keep going up. Yeah, just there on the, yeah, drop us off, yeah.
15 months on since Courtney's arrest, but today the waiting will be over in minutes. Courtney had been acquitted, along with another defendant, but Simon James, husband of Kim James, and Jonathan Rees, the private detective, both got 6 years for their part in the conspiracy.
I always had faith in the British justice system.
Courtney also hoped that the grass accusations were now well and truly behind him.
Yes, we all know. I do hope you all realise that not guilty was for the actual crime and the accusations that I was actually across. I do hope you know that. No, I'm not that
What did you get? What did you get? Not guilty. Hey. You released it? Oh, son. Honestly. Don't know, man. I can't put it into words. Trust me. Best feeling ever.
Courtney was about to be joined in his celebrations by some unexpected but important visitors.
The jury. Members of my jury, I fucking love you. I love you. Guilty. And can you come back next year? Not guilty. Not guilty. Camera, thanks everybody, right? Thanks. And I will love you forever. Now I will fucking open up some tins of worms for them that they fucking won't believe. Right? They're trying to hurt me like that, I'll fucking hurt you. I will hurt you.
A new series recounts the inside stories of some controversial murder mysteries, beginning with the S. Baron's wife. That's tomorrow night at 10:20.
Everybody knows that you're the number one dominator, number one, you got your girl.